Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Matt, the TwilightKnight, and welcome back to the Beyond SMP, where, in our last episode, we did some terraforming, not only of this beautiful lake, but also getting the cliff and ceiling in place in the cave. At least the portion of the cave that's complete. In today's episode, I would like to work on a brand new farm in this building, because it's been a while since I built the last farm. The last farm I built was actually this pumpkin and melon farm months ago. So I'm a little eager to get back to making some farms and getting the space producing. And the farm I want to build today is a wool farm. Now, in order to build a wool farm, we need a couple main things. First and foremost, we need a lot of sheep, and that means I'll have to get breeding on these guys, get enough of them. But I also want the wool farm to be inside the base, meaning I am going to then have to transport them in here to wherever I'm going to build it. So that's the first hurdle I actually need to figure out, and that's where I want to build it. I don't think I want to have it on the ground anywhere, because, like I said, I want, in a previous episode, I want this to be like the travel area, with paths where if you stray off of them, it gets to be rough rocks and rubble. And you have to follow the paths to get to the different things. However, that does mean that there's a lot of the space that's kind of unusable. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to actually raise, I think I need to construct a little cliff edge for the farm to go on. Okay, I think this would work. I can fit it in, because this is going to be a long, thin farm, and then we might bulk out the build a little bit. So what I can do is I can essentially extend this cliff outward. I will have to redo some of the terraforming I did, but that's not a big deal. Should be a piece of cake. So I think I'm going to quick get this cliff extended, and yeah, I will meet up with you guys once that's done. Alright, we now have our cliff extended, so there's now plenty of room to start the building. And the basic idea for this wool farm, I want a lot of wool. I don't need a lot of wool, but I want it. I'm gonna start with 4 layers, and each layer has one of every color. So, if I go grab some blocks, I can show the general plan for this place. Alright, so I have some cyan terracotta. Oh, forgot to set it down. Alright, so you grab some of these blocks right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way over here. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extend over here. And there we go. So each color will have a 7-block slice, meaning okay, I'm thinking this building, what we're gonna have to do is slightly change the idea. We're gonna have it be 8 wide, and 2 of each color. And then, and this should look really interesting. Alright. So, I have a lot of building to do, so I think we should do it in the form of a time lapse. Let's get this building made, and let's go! this thing is built up, and all the sheep are in the first section. So what we have here is we have 3 layers of sheep per color going up here. And the redstone's actually really simple. Sheep farms aren't that difficult. It kind of looks big, but really the only necessary redstone is this observer, piece of dust, and a dispenser. All this other dust here is just to be able to turn off the farm. But yeah, so this thing was built, and I actually went AFK overnight and got a fair amount of wool per color. This is working great, however, it's only half of the colors. That is the farm complete. It's not the building complete, but that is the farm complete, and whoa, that's looking big. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would have been so much easier if I built it in the ground, like horizontal, but at the same time, this looks cool. And the building's not even in. I mean, this looks crazy, and it's literally just a front. There's no walls. Heck, the front itself isn't even done, but this thing looks nuts. Like we have 8 colors on each layer, 3 of each. This is 48 sheep here, 48 complete segments, and that looks so cool, I think. And you might be wondering why there's this like little gap between the two and why it's not just one continuous thing. The main reason for that is because I wanted the storage to have 2 double chests per color. And the 2 options I had were to make one central storage that sorts out all the different colors, which would take extra redstone and wiring, or I could just have each one be an individual layer. So I did that. I made these. I made this tileable system here. I think it looks a little crazier than it is because of the minecarts. In reality, if I turn this off here, because I installed an off switch to make sure the lag wasn't terrible, you'll see everything goes and it stays put. And I think actually, because I wanted a little more in sync, we'll just add that little delay there. So we do that, and then the minecarts, all they're doing is they're traveling up under each segment and collecting any drops, and then going right back down, and then going right back up. And that way I can turn off the farm so that there's not a bunch of entities moving around. I can't do anything about the sheep, I suppose, so I could try and, like, I don't know, put them in minecarts to cut off their pathfinding, but the thing with that is then first of all, it's expensive. Second of all, I don't know if they actually eat the grass in minecarts, and I didn't test it. And third, and this one's kind of silly, but it ruined the look to have them all in the, ooh, this one. Hang on, how's this happened? Nothing was really wrong, I was just being a moron. So, now that the farm itself is built up, I need to get some sort of building in place here, and I don't know what to do, because if I'm being honest, this thing's gonna be pretty thin. I'm gonna have to connect it to the back wall here. And that should work, I think, actually, if I think about it. If I'm intelligent about it, what I could do is I can set up some, like, some bubble columns on either side to let me get between the layers. And then I should be able to, like, just make this glass, I guess? Or even have it open to the elements. Because I kind of like that, because there's no way I'm putting a solid wall in front of these colors. It completely defeats the purpose of having this rainbow here. So I'm thinking I leave it open to the elements. I need to do some decoration here. I leave the face of it open, and then I have the actual building back here. And I want to keep it, with the exception of these colors here, I want to keep it in a similar color palette to this. That's why I have all the cyan, terracotta, the copper. I might bring in the gray concrete. I think I'm going to have to. But let's start with this, and let's see what we can do. Alright, there is, well, there's a start. We have this little cylinder right here, as well as just a basic wall on this side. I'm thinking what I really want to do is I want to have like a rainbow tube coming right here, and I have some ideas for how I can do that. First up, I think we should probably get this backed, and I think I kind of want to use honeycomb to do this. I think that'd look pretty cool. I think what I want to do, though, is line it with copper. Do I want to do that? No. What if we try gold blocks lining it? Oh, I see what I did wrong. This should be pushed down one more block. And frankly, so should this entire wall, meaning I have to rebuild everything. Oh. Alright, there we go. We have this little honeycomb deal built up, and I'm thinking I actually want to pull the gold out and have it be the inner, it's like inner line. I think that could end up looking pretty cool. So I'm gonna do that. And I will say, I love how block placing works on Bedrock. In Java, you wouldn't be able to do this. You'd have to go and manually tap each one. But because it is not Java, this is Bedrock, that means I can just hold down the thing and get all the blocks placed. Alright, there we go. We have got the gold down here, and I also patched up this area as well. So now the two main things we have left to do for the exterior is we gotta make the upper cylinder here and figure out something for the roof. And the roof is going to be really challenging, I'm not gonna lie. But for now, let's do the easy bit, and let's finish off this tube. Alright, that is some definite progress here. We got a basic quartz band wrapping around, and of course, the centerpiece of the build, or at least my personal favorite bit, is this right here. We have this like column, I like to think it's like paint, spurting down The idea is up here at the top, we'll connect it to a pipe, and this is a later detail that'll go in and we'll have like all this stuff running down. It's gonna look great, but I need a break from building because this took all of my creative energy to not screw up. So, if we were to come in, if we were to see this right here, this is what I plan to be the entrance. Obviously, it's a little tucked away, but I think we can make this work, make it look good. But currently, what we need to do is we need to get this piston door designed, and this will be interesting. So if I pop through my little service entrance here, here's the basic thing we're going to need to do. So I have honey and I have this. These are the strips for the door. And pretty much what we're going to have to do is pull all these blocks out of the way, the colorful ones, and because I want to try and have it staggered in a spiral sequence, but that it's not essential. So if something has to be cut, I'm going to cut out the spiral. But yeah, this is essentially a 5x5 piston door without the corners that I'm going to have to tackle. And for something like this, I think... Alright, let's quick pop over into a creative testing world and see what we can do. Alright, so this is the door, essentially. I swapped out all the special blocks. Pretty much the iron will be the rainbow part, and the gold will be the center 3x3 section. So what we need to do is set up a way for the... Let's start with, I think, we're going to want to get the spiral opening out of the way. So let's see how that's... Let's get on with that. Boom. Alright, we have the spiral, and now we do have a slight problem. If I quick just patch these holes up. We have our spiral, but now we need to get this out of the way, and we have to pull this thing back at least once. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Alright, so it's been about half an hour of scratching my head. I think I worked something out. Pretty much I just mirrored the whole thing up here, shifted over some circuitry so nothing interfered, and we do this and we get our push out. So this, if we get our gold blocks back on and we flick this, alright, cool, and that pulls that back, this spirals out, and that should be good. Although I just had a thought. This might be needlessly overcomplicated because the basic plan was that we have the colors along here and then an inset portion. Geez, what if all we need to do... Hang on, let me fill this in. Well, first off, I can say this probably will look better with white. Yeah, it looks much better with white? Does it look better with light gray? I think it does. Normal? No, normal gray is too dark. You know what? No, I think we do. We go white. That's the right way. Alright, so we have this. We have the spiral like we do normally, but the door's going to look something like this. Like we do that. That looks pretty good. If we flick this lever, I'd almost argue it looks better. I think, yeah, I think that looks much better. See, the reason this matters is if I do it this way, I don't need all this circuitry up the top, and I can actually pull the door up through the roof. Or, no, it's still gonna have to go through the ceiling. Several hours of thinking and designing later, I finally came up with a good solution. Finally, after hours of tears, some experimenting and whatnot, I did it. It is now working. A spiral 5x5 rainbow door. It's a little laggy. It doesn't normally take that long to open. But pretty much what we got going on here. This little bit here, these 40 ticks of delay are optional. However, they give the door a much nicer opening animation. Now, like I said, they're not strictly necessary. Like, I can do this, and the door becomes much faster, but also the opening animation's kinda trash now. Like, if I click, I mean, it can be, there's a happy medium that's there. Like, we can make it so it's not as long. There you go. I love the closing animation. And I'm really glad I was able to get the spiral in. I'm really happy I was able to do that. That makes it, I think, just so much better. And yeah, this was a really interesting project to work on. I just had a thought for a random adjustment. What if I'm pretty sure already I don't like this. That looks so much worse. But yeah, we have every single color mixed in here. Red through pink, brown for the outer ring, and then the black, white, and grays in the middle. I think this works out great. Now, keep in mind that this is technically possible to make with this set front, like, flush with itself. Like, here, if I were to do it, if I were smarter, I could make the door work like this. And it'd be more impressive, but this both looks better and is a lot simpler. Let's quick jump back onto the Beyond SMP and get this thing built. Alright, I have got the door all built. And currently it's only hooked up to a lever out here, but that's fine. We'll change things once I have it designed, like the interior designed. But currently, we flick the lever. Oh, that is satisfying. That is satisfying. And best part of all this is this a fast door. Like, it's genuinely a fast door, unlike another piston door I constructed here that takes a little while to go. Not the fastest thing in the world. Although, to be fair, that's not as long as I remember it. Oh well. Alright, so I also moved the stalagmite from the from where it was previously, which was like right here. I moved it up a bit, mostly because it was completely blocking the view. I didn't like that, so I moved it. Now what I need to do is I want to figure out, I feel like something has to go up here, I think. And then I'm gonna need a pathway here. But I think for now the pathway is not necessary. And then, so yeah. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to figure out I'm gonna get a pulse extender hooked up to the door. And make this, give this thing a button, and then the door will be complete. And then I have to figure out what I want to do for the interior, which is gonna be... Alright, we have an interior made. If we just pop open this door, it's a little slower because of the observer activation, but it's fine. We have our interior here, complete with 3 separate farms. We have ourselves the 2 high flower farms, giving us red, pink, magenta, and yellow dye in bulk. These are really simple. They're just observer clocks tied to dispensers, bone meal and farm. And they are quick. These are a little over a stack of dyes each, just in a couple of seconds. Over here we have a cocoa bean farm, so we press this button, everything gets pushed up. It is a manual one, but it's just a nice small little thing here, and it's a good spot to do cocoa beans. It works great. And then over here we have the switch for the wool farm, so I'm gonna break us a little view here. Alright, so if I press this, all the minecarts all along the way will start traveling off. And another cool little detail, if I turn this off here. Alright, so everything's turned off. You'll notice that there's a quick little pulse before the main signal reaches it. Now what that does is it quickly shears every single sheep in the farm, pretty much flipping on the farm for the first time, so that we aren't waiting for sheep that already have wool to eat grass, because that would slightly reduce the efficiency. It wouldn't matter in the long run, because eventually they will eat grass and then I'll shear the things. But this just speeds up the farm getting to full speed. And then of course we have the open switch for the door, which pulls open like this in our nice spiral fashion. We have some tubes and the like up here, now constructed, each with the colored wool coming up and over here down into the chamber, completely filling up, well, I say completely filling up, pouring down into here. And honestly, I just can't get over the fact how much I like this. I'm trying not to pat myself on the back too much, but I love this, man. Like, it kind of like dawned on me a second time. Just this, I really like how this turned out. But yeah, that's enough patting myself on the back for now. Although I do really like how this build turned out. I may in the future add some more details on the top, like random circuitry that does nothing. But for now, I think that's good. Alright, one last thing that I've been doing is I've been collecting shulker boxes of wool for every single color that this farm produces. You see we got some red, some yellow, got all of these. And if you want to see what this is going to be used for, you'll have to catch the next episode. But for now, this is all the time I have for today, so please, if you'd like to see what I'm going to do with the wool, check out next episode. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.